Okay, now we're going to go to lesson 3 and do some exercises here in order to show you how to apply the area formula to find the area of acute triangles. And if we look at these exercises, I'm going to do one of them with you to show you how to do them, and you're going to finish them. But we're going to skip this particular column. I'm going to treat this triangle that we're finding the area for as an entire triangle. Now this triangle is an acute triangle. It has 3 acute angles in it. And because of that, they give us a lot of information on there. Notice there's 5 different numbers on that particular triangle. We got to make sure we know which of those numbers to apply into the equation. Now, as always in this box here, I want to see 3 steps. I want to see first the equation. And for a triangle, we would say base times height divided by 2 equals the area. The next thing that we got to do is plug in the dimensions. Now we have to understand what's the base and what's the height. I'm going to put a little dotted line there so that we can have it a little bit more clear what those dimensions are. We can see the right angle symbol in there. So that tells us that we're going to be using this side of the triangle, that whole entire side, and we're going to be using that dotted line, that perpendicular height. We know that these 2 are not important to us, so we can cross those out. Now, as far as the base, they tell us that 9 centimeters is from the point that's a corner to the point where it's perpendicular. And the point that it's perpendicular to the other corner is 12.6. But I want to know the length of that entire line. So to find the base, I've got to add those 2 up this time, because both of those parts are part of the entire whole base. So I'm going to add 9 and 12.6, and when I do, I get 21.6 as my base. My height is 12. And don't forget to divide by 2. That's the number 1 mistake that kids make when they are finding the area of triangles. They forget to divide by 2. And then the third step is to calculate it. You may use a calculator to help you. I get an answer of 129.6, and I must use the correct units of square centimeters. Let's do one more together here. Let's take a look at this acute triangle. Again, first step, write the equation. Second step, substitute the values of the base and the height. Well, I got to make sure I know what my base and my height are. I got actually a number out of place here. That should go right there. Okay? My base and my height are perpendicular to one another. So I can see that perpendicular symbol that tells me that side has to be my base, and this perpendicular distance to the opposite angle is my height. I can see my base is given as 2 parts. From that corner to that line is 8, and from that part to the other corner is 3.9. So I need to add those together to get my base. That will be 11.9. I'm going to multiply that by my height, 5.2, and then I'm going to divide by 2. Now that means this information right here is unnecessary. We do not need that. Final step, calculate and use correct units. You may use a calculator. I come up with a final area of 30.94 square feet.